He's facing the graveyard. And whenever you get, you're much younger than I am, Alex. You're a young spry chicken compared to me and Dr. San Monteith. But when you get a little older and you know that nobody's going to live out there forever, you start talking. And this man is doing exactly that. Number one, out of admiration. Number two, because and then two, he has children, and they haven't threatened him yet. So as a result, he keeps giving me information. So I just hope he keeps giving it for a long time. But, it's so interesting, Alec. I got to cover this quick. I know we're giving out of time here, but I wish I had 2 or 3 hours. This was so comical. I mean, literally comical. You'll appreciate this. Last week was the presidential debate, Wednesday, October the 3rd, 2012. And that morning, before the debate took place that night, I received an email from my elite friend, and he briefed to me on what was going to happen that night. Now, this is so comical until I'm going to put a little comical note.
Yeah, tell folks real fast. Tell them.
Yeah, I'll cover the rest of this mortgage-backed security thing on another day when you let me back on the air. But first of all, I received this email that morning, and it basically said, watch for certain things in the course of the debate. Now, remember, Obama had double-crossed the elite. I told you this back under 6, 8, 7, 8 months ago, and many of you didn't believe it. But my elite friends had told me how that numerous times Obama had double-crossed them. Well, Obama was like a little child that had been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. You saw him. I mean, this man that has all of the charisma imaginable, he mesmerizes his audience. He could hypnotize an audience.
He was a deer in the headlights.
And all of a sudden, he is sitting there like a child with his hand in the cookie jar. And I want to tell you something, folks. He was actually scared stiff. That's the reason he did what he did in this debate last night. Why? His disobedience, his disorientation, his speechless way in that thing was a result of what I had been told. The elite literally slapped Mr. Obama in the face last week and scared the living daylights out of him.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done's been right.
We are joined by Lindsey Williams for another 30 minutes, and I know we've got callers lined up for quick questions for him. Lindsey, finish up your Obama story. I mean, he did look like he was cowed. That's actually what I said last week, is that he appeared intimidated by Romney. And I chalked it up to arrogance, used to everybody groveling to him for 4 years, to have a corporate vampire like Romney on him, a charming vampire, as my wife calls him. He couldn't handle it. But I know your source says that Obama's been double-crossing him. How has he been double-crossing him?
Well, the word that you used, Alex, intimidated, is the understatement of the year. Obama was literally scared stiff while he was on that platform because of what was said. And I'm going to, all you out there now, have those pencils and paper ready. I'm going to list the 3 items that literally scared Mr. Obama into losing his place, being completely out of order, and not being able to keep himself. Alex, it's been, let's see, the last time I had the privilege of being on your show was March the 25th. I looked it up on my calendar here a moment ago. There's been so many briefings these people have given me since then. I just have so much to tell your people. You bear with me. There's so much I'd like to say. Anyway, number 1, 2, and 3, here they are. You remember back when the Cross-Canada pipeline was canceled, I was in touch with my elite friend just after that, and he was livid. He was so mad at what this man had done. And then it was only a few weeks after that he said to me, he said, Chaplain, if we older elite, now please distinguish between the two. I know the men who are in their 70s and 80s. And by the way, I've been put in touch with some more here recently, Alex, but not just the one you know now. There's some others that are talking, too, who are in their 70s and 80s. Now, the younger elite have a little bit different slant on things. The older elite, if they have anything to do with it whatsoever, folks, please catch this. If the older elites have anything to do with it, Mr. Obama will not become the next president of the United States of America. He canceled out on the Cross-Canada pipeline and literally made enemies out of all of them. Number two, now go back, please. I want you to go back and listen to that presidential debate last week.
Sure, so he did that.
Hear this. At the time, you didn't even know what you were hearing, but I knew what was going to be said. You remember the expression that Mr. Romney made about Dodd-Frank bill. Please, you cannot imagine how important that is to the elite. Obama had helped to double-cross them in the Dodd-Frank bill. You've got to go back and look this up. Number three, you notice that Mr. Romney talked about production of American oil and how that Obama would not allow that to take place in many oil pools in America. Now, this is so significant because when they create the mass chaos that they're creating in the Middle East, they must be able to come back to America at $150 a barrel for crude oil and produce it from these very fields that Mr. Obama would not let them go through with instituting during his last 4 years. And as a result, the elite are so angry over this until Romney literally scared Mr. Obama stiff.
Yeah, that's why he was freaked out. You even said that on 6 months ago, that they were mad over the pipeline and mad over those other issues. And that was the thing. Romney was there delivering Obama a message.
Oh, he sure was. He was telling him things that literally scared him stiff. Not really.
Because because Obama knew, this is amazing analysis, that these are messages he'd already been given through the grapevine, and here's Romney aggressively staring him down the whole time, telling him the stuff and saying, listen, my sons lie too. Call him son. Did you see that? It's just amazing. Wow, I really concur with what your source is saying.